Good morning, everyone. My name is Taylor Randall. I'm Dean of the David Eccles School of Business. And I want to welcome you all to the 7th Annual Utah Ethical Leadership Award Finalists and Winners Show. I guess it is a show today, COVID edition. Anyway, this Ethical Leadership Awards program has been a great collaboration between the Daniels Fund, the Community Foundation of Utah, the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative here at the University of Utah David Eccles School of Business. Together, we started this awards program to celebrate the ethical leadership that we see in our community, in businesses, nonprofits, and government organizations that throughout the state of Utah. You know, these awards were designed to really recognize organizations that embody the spirit of ethical leadership that was shown by Bill Daniels. Bill, for many of you that don't know, is a pioneer in cable television and was the owner of the Utah Stars, the precursor to the Utah Jazz. Bill believed deeply in ethics and integrity and in the importance of absolute ethical principles, and it earned him incredible respect throughout the business world. We want to thank a few of our sponsors because this program would be nothing without them. First and foremost, thanks to the Daniels Fund for providing the inspiration, encouragement, and funding for these awards programs. We have been involved with them, the Daniels Fund, in ethics education for well over a decade. And I will tell you, it has been one of the most rewarding, fruitful partnerships that I've had since I've been dean. We want to thank the Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute at the University of Utah. They're the title sponsor of our government awards. Our class of 2013 MBA students created the judging criteria for these awards with the assistance of the faculty and the Daniels Fund and a team of judges that I'll introduce shortly. The Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce is collaborating with our MBA students on the awards and applications and judging criteria. We're appreciative to them. OC Tanner donated and the design and materials of our awards. Eclectic Brew Publications created the videos that you're going to see. And we have a 2020 judging committee. This takes a lot of time. And I want to thank each of them. It's a group of faculty, nonprofit, business leaders, and graduate students. Those include Brooke Carrington, Sheena McFarland, Nancy Basinger, Haley Shepard, Toma Fackrell, Jennifer Robinson, Kristen Dahlin, Fareshta Pagmani, Ren Gallagher, Candace Horn, and Matt Weller. They took a lot of time to kind of sort through a lot of applications. And finally, Utah Business Magazine is our media partner, thanks to them. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you the Honorable Governor Gary Herbert to share a few words about this program. The governor was not available to show up in person due to some scheduling conflicts, but he's been a strong supporter of this award program and as many times has been here to announce those awards. Would like to turn the time over to a bit of a video address to him right now.
Hello, I'm Governor Gary Herbert, and welcome to the 7th Utah Ethical Leadership Awards Breakfast. The Utah Ethical Leadership Awards recognize leadership in Utah businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government entities that embody best practices in ethical behaviors. Speaking on behalf of the people of Utah, I salute the recipients of this year's Utah Ethical Leadership Awards for conducting themselves and their businesses with integrity. I extend my thanks to the Daniels Fund and the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative at the David Eccles School of Business, and to the Community Foundation of Utah for sponsoring this Utah Ethical Leadership Awards program, as well as the many people and organizations in this room today who have contributed to the success of this program. Thanks to all for the example that you set and for inspiring others to aspire to the highest ethical standards possible. Thank you and best wishes.
Well, thank you, Governor. It's now my pleasure to turn the time over to Mr. Bo Pareto, the Senior Vice President of the Ethics Initiative and Communications at the Daniels Fund. We have known Bo for so many years. He's become a deep and dear friend. We're appreciative always of his insight. He's been instrumental in leading this initiative through a number of colleges. It's actually more than a number, through Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Utah. In addition, we're grateful that Bruce Wilmson is here, the Daniels Fund Vice President for Media and Communications, and Jeff Steepleton, the Initiative Manager. Thanks to both of them for being here. Bo will speak about the Daniels Fund and the life of Bill Daniels, and he'll also present the business awards. Bo?
Thank you so much, Dean Randall. We're just delighted to be here today. The Daniels Fund was established by cable television pioneer Bill Daniels as a private charitable foundation dedicated to making life better for the people of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming through its grants program, scholarship program, and ethics initiative. Bill Daniels was a visionary business leader whose compassion for people and unwavering ethics and integrity earned him great respect throughout his life. Bill grew up during the Great Depression, served the nation as a decorated fighter pilot, and became a driving force in establishing the cable television industry. Bill Daniels was a man of strong values and principles. He believed his reputation for ethics and integrity was his greatest business asset. The Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative was launched in 2010 to deliver principle-based ethics education and reinforce the value of ethical business and personal conduct. The first 5 years focused on a collegiate program, involved 8 business schools throughout the 4-state region, including the David Eccles School of Business at the University of Utah. The collegiate program now has expanded to 11 business schools and 1 law school, and we've added 7 other programs with specific target audiences. The 8 principles of the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative reflect the values Bill Daniels felt were critical to business success, just as they've guided the businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies here today. Those principles are integrity, trust, accountability, transparency, fairness, respect, rule of law, and viability. The Utah Ethical Leadership Awards program celebrates ethical leadership in the spirit of Bill Daniels. The competition within the categories was fierce and is always fierce, and all the organizations recognized today should be celebrated as great examples of ethical leadership in the great state of Utah. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the 3 finalists for the Bill Daniels Ethical Leadership Award for Business.
At Mountain America, I think our vision probably states it the best, and that is that we help our members define and achieve their financial dreams. And we really do that through a number of different ways, but most importantly, trying to understand what it is they're trying to accomplish and then providing paths and options for them to do that. Even in day 1 of new hire orientation, we talk about what we call our MACU way, and that really is going through and talking about our values as an organization. Every single interaction that we have with an employee who then has an interaction with a member and where ethics are demonstrated, it ripples out, and everybody then begins to really appreciate and emulate those types of behaviors.
If you look at our core values, they define who we are and how we approach everything. So you really can't separate the ethics from who we are, because it's part of what we do every day, how we approach business, how we make decisions. We call them core values in our organization, and they almost align one by one with the Daniels principles. My favorite is integrity. I think it's so important that we live true to who we say we are, that we always are honest in our dealings and how we approach things. That is so critical because we're in a trust business. And how can we ever have that trust if in any way we compromise integrity? It makes making decisions so much easier, because if you have a strong ethical base, you don't have to worry about, should I do this or this? Because there's always one that's a clear choice that usually comes out and becomes very evident.
One of the Daniels ethic principles that stands out to me would be transparency. For me, that's where it all starts. As an organization, if you are clear in your messaging to your employees or to your customer as to really why you're in business, what you're trying to accomplish, and if there is a problem, really helping them understand what the problem is and what you're going to do about it. When you do that, all the others flow from there. They'll see there's integrity. You'll build trust. Accountability is a part of that when you're transparent. So for me, I think that's one that is very important, and one that helps us as an organization to not only improve and help our culture, but also just to be successful.
I don't know how a company can be successful long-term without strong ethics. We're able to get great employees because they believe in the company, and they can only believe in a company they trust. And you can't trust someone that doesn't have good, strong ethical standards. There's no way around that. You can't cheat that. Every day, we do our very best to live up to who we say we are. Ethics go hand in hand with service and doing a greater good in the community. That's what we strive to do at the credit union, is to do a greater good to the communities we serve. And you can't do that without the strong ethical base.
MarketStar was created in northern Utah in 1988 with the express mission of helping companies grow their revenue, specifically technology companies. We provide sales resources, salespeople on a contract basis for large technology companies. We sell for them across the globe. We have about 1,300 employees headquartered in Ogden, Utah, with offices in Europe and Asia and Latin America. Our company really had a really strong foundation of ethics upon which we operate today. And it was really started with Alan Hall, who was our founder. In 1994, he established 5 principles. So love of God and willingness to serve him was the first principle. Love of employees and community, customers were in that as well. Those principles really became a solid foundation for principle-based leadership in the company. While we've evolved them since then, it's a really strong foundation off of which we started. An ability for a company to have an established set of principles or pillars of ethics is valuable, and our leaders behave with integrity, speak with candor, lead with clarity, and their primary purpose as leaders is to create trust. And those are integral into the Daniels Fund, and they just match directly with the type of values we expect of our people. That gives me a lot of pride to see our people in northern Utah solving big problems for large brands. If you inherently have built your company and the way you behave upon ethics and principles, and you know that other organizations have done the same, it makes it really easy to do business together and to create value and viability for our global economy when companies both establish that as a foundation for their company and then operate with other participants in that global ecosystem. It's so vital to who we are, and it just makes me proud to be able to come to work every day and know that we're working with people that share a set of values and principles that are important to each of us.
At Simplus, our mission is to make complex things simple. So we operate in the IT services consulting space and are a platinum certified Salesforce partner.
We like to take this really big product and bring it down to a level that's easy to use, and that employees, customers, and anyone who interacts with it just have immediate value in the usage of the tool. When we started Simplus, we said, let's pick 3 things we are absolutely committed to that we can live every day. And what we decided was it came down to 3 really core values that could represent our ethics, and that was critical thinking, underdog spirit, and stewardship. And we felt that those 3 things we could represent in interactions with customers, employees, partners, and really display what we mean by our code of ethics.
Those values are ingrained in a lot of different aspects. We don't just talk about them on day one, we talk about them in every company meeting. Our employees use them when they publicly recognize other employees. We have employee awards that tie back to each one of those values. We try to recognize when people are doing things that exemplify those values. We look at things through the lens of, are we doing the right thing for our client? Are we doing the right thing for the employee? And are we doing the right thing for the company? It's how we make decisions as a corporation to make sure that we're looking at it with that lens of, are we doing the right thing? And are we going to be a good steward? Even before the current pandemic hit, the executive team had the foresight to put in place a regular company meeting where we talked through company metrics, both financial and customer facing. There was already a culture of transparency before the COVID-19 pandemic hit. And when it did hit, we introduced even more transparency to the employees. We wanted to make sure that they're understanding what the executive team was deciding in our response. So we've come up with a weekly company meeting where key members of the executive team get up and just talk about how it's going and what we're doing to respond. And I think that culture of transparency has really helped us continue on in a fiscally responsible way through a really challenging time.
Your employees see day in and day out that transparency and then the actions that follow. it creates this environment where no matter the problem, no matter the size of the issue, they want to solve it and they want to do it together. It's absolutely something that every organization can benefit from. The employees, the customers, everybody who's part of that benefit from a company who really embraces and lives their ethics. I absolutely have that pride and that absolute sense of just joy that comes from being in that environment and being surrounded by those type of people.
What terrific videos. First, I want to say congratulations to Simplus, finalist in the business category. And also congratulations to Mountain America Credit Union, finalist in the business category. And finally, the winner of this year's Bill Daniels Ethical Leadership Award for Business is MarketStar, which provides outsourced sales and marketing services for companies that want to scale quickly and expand into new markets. The company holds itself to the highest ethical standards. They are committed to open and transparent communications with clients and engage with clients through voice of customer surveys to get open and honest feedback. They are rated 20 points higher than industry peers on these surveys, demonstrating the trust they have built with their clients. The company's new CEO also worked to ensure transparency and accountability internally as he held listening tours across the company to hear concerns and feedback. The company leadership also encourages diversity, respect, and fairness as they work to ensure all employees feel a sense of belonging at the company and are able to thrive. MarketStar received an award from the Women's Tech Council, highlighting their dedication to equality in the workplace. Congratulations to MarketStar, winner of the Bill Daniels Ethical Leadership Award in the business category.
And representing MarketStar is Keith Titus. If you'd like to say a few words, we'd love to hear from you.
I would. Hopefully I'm back on video. It just kicked me off again. Am I there?
Yes, you're here. Thank you so much.
Perfect. First of all, I'd love to thank and acknowledge Bill Daniels and the legacy left behind in this Daniels Fund and Ethics Initiative. I think it's such a great example of
And Keith, I'm sorry, we've lost you for just a second. I wonder if you hit stop on your video, if that will help. So we can at least hear you.
It looks like we're having a bit of trouble, Keith, hearing from you. We may have to move on. Our apologies.
Leaders of organizations that they care enough to leave a legacy and acknowledge. I'd like to acknowledge, hopefully you can hear me now, Sheena.
It's cutting in and out pretty badly, Keith.
Sheena, Keith, Keith, in this incredibly inflexible Zoom world, I think we're going to have to accept your congratulations and or have us congratulate you. Thank you very much for doing that. Sorry about the audio difficulties. Oh, we've got you back now.
Do you have me? I'm actually going old school on the phone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Go ahead. You might want to start over.
Okay, first of all, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Jumped to my cell phone here. We did a test this morning. So first of all, I'd love to acknowledge the Bill Daniels Ethics Fund. What a tremendous legacy that Bill has left for us as organizations. On behalf of MarketStar and the MarketStar team, I appreciate and I'm humbled to accept this award. We are grateful for businesses in our organizations that we are supported by in our community. An acknowledgement to Simplus and Mountain America, what incredible organizations. I know many of them at those organizations personally, and just incredible businesses that we get to surround ourselves with here in Utah and do business with. Thank you to the team at University of Utah for this award and this acknowledgement. Our employees work hard every day to make a difference both in the lives of our clients and our community. And these core principles, these core ethics and values are so critical and integral to what we do. I think like many organizations, we're going to find moments and situations in which we may not live fully our values. And I really love the value of accountability in the Ethics Fund values that Bill Daniels has set out, because there are moments when we as an organization or in our individuals don't quite measure up, and that gives us the opportunity to hold ourselves accountable and to try and do better and continue to move forward as an organization. And I appreciate and accept the award and so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Keith, congratulations. MarketStar is a remarkable organization. We appreciate your ethical leadership here in the state of Utah, and thanks also to our other finalists. We are now going to move on to our awards in the government category. And so it's my pleasure to introduce the 3 finalists for the Utah Ethical Leadership Awards in Government.
The Department of Administrative Services provides all the back-end services for government, and that helps the agencies that touch the public do their job. Our motto for our employees is create powerfully. And in order to empower them to create powerfully, we have to have a foundation of what we consider ethical behavior so that they can make decisions, so that they can create intentionally and deliberately based on ethical principles that they know that we will uphold as their executive management. We'll have their back if they have applied these principles. They feel empowered because they know what our value system is, and they know that as an organization, we want to be an organization of integrity and honesty and transparency. Like, that's what matters to us. We want to break the mold of what government service looks like. And so you have to empower the employee, the boots on the ground folks, to be able to think creatively. So instead of lots and lots of policies, we have this ethical foundation, and we say, we believe in you. We believe in you to solve problems as long as you are operating within those ethical guidelines. Recently, we had a fuel spill. Some of the seepage went into a couple of residents' backyard. We had signed an agreement with the homeowners at the very beginning before we knew the extent of the damage, and the agreement seemed fair to everyone involved. As we got further into cleanup, we realized that it affected these 2 homeowners more than we had originally anticipated. Legally, we didn't have to do a thing because we had already signed the agreement. We had no liability there. As we got together and we talked about it, we felt like we had done more harm to these homeowners than what we had made payment for. And so one of the employees suggested, we ought to buy the property at fair market value. Or if the homeowner wants to stay there, we need to make an arrangement with them so that they are indeed made whole. we did that. And it wasn't fun going to the legislature and owning up to what had happened. That's called accountability. But at the end of the day, we did the right thing. And that is who the Department of Administrative Services is. That's who we are. So I think that as employees see that, they see that we're willing to maybe travel the path most unlikely, that they begin to define themselves in those same terms. And the employees are our greatest asset. Strong ethics is good business. So you get your customers to have enough experiences with you that they know that you will do what you believe to be the right thing always, and you will be accountable. Then they begin to trust you. And when you have to make some hard decisions where maybe the decision isn't as favorable as others, having a relationship of trust, not only with your customers, but with your employees, that is just simply good business. It's important for everybody, but for government, it's critical.
The Mayor's Office for New Americans in Salt Lake County is tasked to maximize the social, political, economic impacts of new Americans in Salt Lake County. 12.7% of Salt Lake County residents are born outside the country. Our job is to reduce the systemic barriers and the racial barriers so that everyone has the equal potential to succeed, to elevate the voices of the community, provide them an opportunity to participate, to share, and be informed on the process of making sustainable change. Centering our work based on the principles of ethics allow us to build authentic community relationships. Our work is so critical in building those relationships. What we do needs to be informed by the people who are impacted the most. In during the COVID-19 pandemic, it's more essential than ever. Our relationships has really paid off in making sure that the two-way communications is in place and making sure that the community who are most in need are receiving the services.
New Americans is defined as anyone who's born outside of the United States. So it's immigrants and it's refugees. And we partner very closely with community-based organizations who do that direct service. Ethics are an integral part of the Salt Lake County Mayor's Office for New Americans. Foreign-born people need to trust us. And trust, I think, is one of our most ethical priorities, is to make sure that we are trusted with the communities that we work to serve. We do a lot of work with outreach and education for the 2020 census, and New Americans are historically undercounted. And so we had to work so hard to establish trust with our partners and the community that the census can be trusted, that it's important, that answers are confidential. And without that trust, we just wouldn't have been able to move the needle with participation.
It's important for all organizations to practice ethical principles. It is through ethics that we're able to achieve sustainable change and sustainable goals. We have to be truthful to who we are. And in the Office for New Americans, that is the people that we serve. It's important that we base everything we do on the needs of the people and the voices of the people.
Everybody deserves the best life possible. And I think it's just so important that people who come to America wanting the American dream have access to that. And that's what we do.
I'm incredibly proud to represent South Jordan City. We are the 12th fastest growing city in America. We have been named one of USA Today's best places to live in America. We have great people in South Jordan, and we are growing quickly. We strive to provide quality government while being fiscally conservative and responsible, while also trying to manage growth and plan for the future. The Daniels Principle of Ethics, those words are all contained in our vision and mission statements for South Jordan City. That is exactly what we strive for. We work really, really hard to maintain transparency and a level of trust. Ethics is not optional, in my opinion. We need principled leadership. We need it now more than ever. We've got a group of people who really do want to do the right thing for the city of South Jordan, and it shows. As elected officials and our administrative staff, all of our employees, it's our goal. It's what we work very hard for, and it's what we think our residents deserve. We had a really unique challenge come up my first year that I was serving as mayor. We had a privately owned golf course in our city. It had been turned over by the courts to a receiver, and the receiver was given instructions to sell it for the highest value possible. We had an evening where we listened for 4 hours to public comment, and we heard every story, every side, every suggestion. We had probably between us thousands of emails. We sent out a survey to all of our residents. Would you like us to buy the golf course? If so, it would mean raising taxes. Overwhelmingly, in the high 90s%, save the golf course, don't raise taxes. Okay. We worked with all parties to try to find a way to make that happen. And in the end, we were able to save that golf course from development and to make sure that the zoning was as such that it will be protected as a golf course forever, that the city does not own it. We don't have to pay for it. We did find a private buyer to buy it. We've had many reach out after and say, that was amazing. You pulled off the impossible. And I think in that situation we did, and it took all hands on deck. When you're working so hard to try to do the right thing, more often than not, it works out.
What I'm most proud of is what our employees do for work. They have an ethical foundation about how they apply their skills. So they do it right the first time, and they do it with integrity. We put a report together that's very transparent, that allows a lay individual to open up that very technical document and understand, oh, I understand where my money went. I can see where my tax dollars are going. And that to me is critical in our industry. And ethics just isn't a financial thing. It's how we talk to people. It's how we institute leadership overall. And I am proud because I think that our general overall key staff members, our department heads, they all follow the same guide.
I think every city should have a foundation of ethical practices. We have the opportunity to create the future that we want. And it's these decisions. It's big decisions, and it's a million small decisions that people will never know about that are going to help formulate the future that we want for ourselves and for our kids and for our society at large.
Well, I think those were remarkable stories about ethical leadership in government. So first, join me, and we've got to figure out how to do some kind of Zoom applause here. Maybe hit your applause meter. Congratulations to the Utah Department of Administrative Services, a finalist for the Utah Ethical Leadership Award in the government category. And congratulations to the Salt Lake County Office of New Americans, a finalist in the Utah Ethical Leadership Award category, our category of government. I'm not sure if this clapping is working. We're trying. Finally, my congratulations to the South Jordan City for winning the Utah Ethical Leadership Award in government category. Maybe just one more anecdote. South Jordan City values transparency, responsiveness, and creating trust with its residents. In 2019, several residents raised concern about the safety of their drinking water. You know, the city regularly tests its drinking water within 24 hours. South Jordan City had ran its own tests and showed that the water was safe, but a number of citizens still showed concerns. The city consulted with water experts and expanded testing to check for even more substances. They also collected the water from the taps of specific homes and used a third-party lab to confirm the findings. The city posted videos to update residents on every step of the way and to explain really complex scientific findings in simple layman's terms. The city built an online forum so residents could note any other health concerns and partnered with the health department to address those concerns, even though they weren't related to the quality of drinking water. The drinking water is a strong situation, is a strong example of the ethical way that this city operates and goes above and beyond to serve its residents. Please join me in congratulating the city, South Jordan City, for this award. And we would love to welcome Mayor Ramsey to say a few words. Congratulations, Mayor Ramsey.
Thank you so much, Taylor. We appreciate this. In behalf of the City of South Jordan, our City Council, and our City Administration, thank you. We want to say thank you to the Daniels Ethics Leadership Initiative. We agree wholeheartedly that these foundational principles that make up the criteria for this award are the criteria for doing everything we should do. Every business should live by this, every municipality, every city organization. It's part of who we are in South Jordan. We have had strong ethical leaders for a long time. It's unique to have 20 years average experience in leadership at the government level in one city, and that's what our administrative staff has. We have a very good group. In a day when so many people are nervous about government, people are critical, and there's a high level of distrust, our surveys come back every year in the 90s, approvals in the 90s. People feel like they can trust us here in South Jordan, and we're very proud of that. It does take a great deal of effort, but this is the work of the people, and it's the people's money that we oversee, and what we do impacts the lives of everyone who lives here and all those who will live here. We could not be more proud to be a part of this organization and to live in this city and to work to represent the residents here the very best we can. We have in our mission statement, we list the values of integrity, service, professionalism, communication, excellence, transparency. These are the principles that we work and live by. It's the standard expected of all of our staff. It's the standard expected of our elected officials. And we're very proud to receive this award. It's humbling to even be chosen in the top 3. Congratulations to everyone who is a part of this today, because it gives me strengthened and renewed hope for the future. We have good people everywhere who really are striving to do the best they can for the people that we serve. It makes me very proud to serve among you, and we're honored to receive this award today. Thank you.
Mayor Ramsey, such a pleasure to have you here on the award show, and congratulations to your city. I think we'll all be flocking there soon.
Well, we will have somewhere for you. You won't be the only ones coming, and we actually really love that our city is growing and that it's a place that so many people want to be. So come on out, come anytime.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very, very much. Well, it's now my privilege to introduce the best dressed ethics professor in the entire United States, possibly the world. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Abe Bakshishi, the director of the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative here at the David Eccles School of Business. Abe?
Thank you very much, Dean Randall. The University of Utah has been fortunate enough to be a part of the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative since 2010. Since its inception, the initiative has been an invaluable and fundamental component of the current culture at the David Eccles School of Business. The impact on the school and its faculty members, our students, and the broader University of Utah and Utah communities has been profound. Over the course of the last year, the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative has touched many different individuals throughout the university and the Utah communities by a variety of ways. Just to name a few, with the coaching and mentoring of the faculty and selected staff members, our students have been involved with the undergraduate and graduate ethics case competitions, pursuing and completing the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative Rising Star internships, participating and engaging in ethics lectures and seminars presented by community business leaders and national speakers. Our school has offered business ethics courses for all full-time professionals, online, and executive MBA students. Additionally, 8 professors from the other colleges within the University of Utah have designed and offered new ethics courses for their respective disciplines. We have recognized faculty members who have excelled in inclusion and teaching of ethics in their curriculum, and the Center for the Public Trust has conducted several presentations with numerous students in attendance. This past year alone, our Foundation of Business Thought has reached over 1,532 students with 32 different course sections. And the Executive Education Department of the Eccles School of Business has been involved actively by offering business ethics seminars to members of the business community. Our Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative programs would not have been a success without the support and dedication of the following colleagues. Candice Horn for her selfless efforts. Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative, Professor William Hesserly. Our CFO, Rain Gallagher. Matthew Higgins, Entrepreneurship and Strategy Department Chair. Sheena McFarland, our Communication Director. Our Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative Ambassadors and Faculty Fellows. Brad Verrick. Jackson Stewart, the President of the Center for Public Trust and Ethics Club, who is one of our undergraduate students, and over 200 other students, faculty, staff, and members of our community. Our profound thanks and appreciation to each and everyone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Ms. Alex Eden, CEO of the Community Foundation of Utah, our partner since the inception of this award ceremony over 7 years ago, to announce the nonprofit finalists and the final winner. Ms. Alex, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Abe. On behalf of the Community Foundation of Utah, we're delighted to have been a part of this important event since the beginning and are happy to announce the finalists for this worthy recognition. We believe that each and every principle of the Daniels Fund Ethics Initiative should be the cornerstone of each and every nonprofit organization. Integrity, trust, accountability, respect, fairness, transparency, rule of law, and viability are all well observed and experienced within these 3 Utah nonprofit entities. It's therefore my pleasure to introduce the finalists for the Utah Ethical Leadership Award for Nonprofits.
The mission of the In-Between is to end the tragic history of vulnerable people dying on the streets of our community, and we do this by providing a safe and supportive home for those who have no place to live during a medical crisis, where people can recuperate from illness or they can experience the end of life with dignity, receiving professional hospice care, and being surrounded by people who not only care for them, but care about them. Everything we do is based on a framework of ethics, the way that we conduct our business, the way that we interact with each other as staff, with our volunteers, with other homeless service providers, with the medical community, and with our residents. Our core values are kindness, respect, compassion, dignity, forgiveness, and integrity. It informs every decision that we make every day.
When we put those ethics into practice, it just strengthens our character and our organization. And I hear that a lot from people that come in. I've been told I can trust you, and I really want to be honest with you.
The principle of ethics, they're also important. Trust is very important. We have to place trust in our residents. They have to place trust in us. They have to trust our program. They have to trust the people around them, and so we have to build that trust within our home.
We deal with very vulnerable people, some of them with very troubled pasts and histories, And in order to best serve them, we really need to develop a relationship that allows them to be open and honest with us.
Working under an ethical framework has a ripple effect in the community. We forget what people's pasts are and we help them rise to their better selves. And I think that spreads out into the community and the community can see the inherent value of that. Nobody wants anybody to die alone or die on the street or die without access to hospice care. And all of those things require a home. And the in-between was able to figure out a way to provide that home. And now we're a role model for other communities to follow.
Respect and dignity, everybody deserves that. We lost a young lady, she's 35 years old, on Friday. And I've worked with her for a few years, and she's had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of mental health issues. And one of the men in our building, he's known her for a long time. I went to check on him and he showed me a picture she drew of herself, and it was just this monster. It was like black and blue monster. And it made me so sad to think that she ever felt that way about herself. She really just was a sweet girl. And towards the end of her life, she really found a peace. And it was like this huge change. All of a sudden, she was just so calm and peaceful and had kind words for everybody. The transformation, like to be able to see that in somebody and to see them die peacefully, feeling good about themselves and like they were of value to somebody, and knowing that they're going to be missed by us, I think is just, it's really something great.
We model all of these core values, and what we find is that our residents begin to reflect them back to us. You know, I walk down the halls and I'll see Matilda speaking to a resident, and I'll hear the resident say, "I love you," and she says, "I love you back." And that's what makes our home special.
The Other Side Academy is a 2.5-year re-education facility for the most lost among us. Our average student's been arrested over 25 times, so it's the long-term criminal coupled with the drug addict, which we all know is one of the most hardest populations there is to help. At the Other Side Academy, we allow them to come and stay for a minimum of 2.5 years until they learn to recalibrate their moral compass and become decent human beings. So our mission really is to change lives by changing behaviors. We give you the opportunity to learn to tell the truth impeccably, to become accountable. And the sum of those two things is integrity. So you can stay here long enough for that to actually become who you are, not just what you do.
The Other Side Academy is nothing if not a place where people learn to live a moral life. And so if we expect that of our students, it has to begin with leadership. Morals and ethics, having clear principles that govern all of our behaviors strictly, starts at the top of this organization. One of the critical Daniels principles is transparency. The Other Side Academy started with the principle of transparency, committed to saying that we're going to tell the truth, whether it's pretty or whether it's ugly, to the entire community about how many people walk in our door, how many walk out early, how many make a long-term life of drug-free, crime-free, and employed living, and how many don't. So transparency is critical both to our ethics, but also our capacity to learn how to improve what we do.
Everything that we ask the students to do, we do ourselves. From me, the executive director, to the student who's brand new, who got here today, we are all held to the same standard. We are all held to the same principles, and we can all be called on our behaviors. So they know that if I'm asking them to do that, I'm there with them. The Daniels principle that really resonates with me is trust. When you come to the Other Side Academy and we interview you and we accept you, we immediately trust you. You have a clean slate. It doesn't matter if you've been arrested 33 times, been to prison 6 times, and been a drug addict for 2 decades. If we interview you and we accept you and we allow you to come into this community and become part of this family, we trust you. It is going to be up to you as to whether or not you break that trust. So immediately when you get here, you know, wow, this is unlike any place else I've ever lived. I'm trusted here. It makes it more difficult for you to make the same mistakes that brought you here. You're going to think twice before you do those things.
An organization lives or dies on trust. And there is no trust without integrity, and there's no integrity without a clear set of principles. You have to declare what you're about so that people know what to expect from you, from leadership, from the organization, and then you have to adhere to those. So ethical leadership really is at the foundation of organizational performance, but also it's at the heart of a flourishing society. We now have employers lining up in droves to hire our graduates. And why? Because they see them having profound integrity, an incredible work ethic, being stellar human beings, people who raise the level of performance of all of their colleagues. And that only happens if the organization itself models those same principles.
If you learn to have ethics, if you learn to have integrity, I mean truly, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't, nothing else matters.
The most important work anyone can do is work that helps people change and improve their life. And there is no place where I see that happening more consistently and more effectively than at the Other Side Academy. It's a place of miracles.
The Bicycle Collective is a statewide nonprofit, and our focus is promoting cycling as an effective, affordable, and sustainable means of transportation and recreation. And we deliver on that mission through a variety of educational programs and resources in terms of sale of bikes, providing bikes through our charitable programs. We focus on families that are maybe low to moderate income. We focus on children, newly arrived refugees and immigrants, people coming out of substance abuse, others who are unhoused or experiencing housing or food insecurity. We really work on equitable mobility and changing people's lives by providing self-reliant transportation. A bike is a form of transportation to get that person to a job. So a bike enables people to change their economic status. It enables children who may not be on a bus route be able to get to school. And the other part that I love about what we do is we are all about reducing, reusing, and recycling. Just in 2019 alone, we recycled about 27 tons of metal and 3 tons of rubber. So anything we can't use, either as a whole bike or as components, we recycle that. I really see all of the principles reflected, and all of it is important. Building trust with all those stakeholders, integrity in what we do, that anybody who comes to us knows we are going to utilize our resources effectively. We're going to steward those resources. We operate within a large community, and that trust and that honesty and respect and accountability is all paramount to creating a strong and healthy ecosystem.
Ethics guide everything that we do, from the programs that we run to the day-to-day operation. There's not a thing that we do that we don't consult our ethics before we make a decision on. The Daniels principle that resonates the most with me right now is viability. At the start of the COVID pandemic, everything was in flux. Everything changed, and we had to suspend our in-person programming, and right away we had to figure out solutions. We learned that we could do online programming. We received a grant to get videography equipment, and we are working on the industry's first youth-oriented mechanic video series. So it's going to be like a Sesame Street for bikes.
The Bicycle Collective is kind of a magical place. There's a lot of opportunity in that shop. The ability to learn a skill and to build character and to help other people. The collective is centered around helping people.
If we do things that we're proud of, that we're honest in our dealings, we're going to reap greater rewards, and everybody benefits.
Congratulations. The Other Side Academy, finalists for the Utah Ethical Leadership Award in the nonprofit category. Congratulations, Bicycle Collective, finalist for the Utah Ethical Leadership Award in the nonprofit category. Clap. Finally, my congratulations to the In-Between as the Utah Ethical Leadership Award winner in the nonprofit category in the state of Utah. The In-Between provides housing stability, healthcare access, and hospice services to terminally ill and medically frail adults experiencing homelessness. Two key principles guiding the In-Between are integrity and respect. They are dedicated to treating all clients with respect, regardless of their situation and their history, which is important for people who may have not felt cared about in decades. This respect helps them build critical trust with their clients, to feel safe sharing their medical and housing history, and receive the care they need in their most vulnerable time. A focus on a key value of integrity is reinforced weekly in staff meetings. To ensure the viability of the organization, they engaged an advisory neighborhood council in regular meetings to give the community a voice when concerns arose about the potential impact their location may have in their neighborhood. The in-between goes above and beyond when it comes to serving the needs of their clients in an ethical way. Congratulations to the in-between, and I'd like to invite Matilda Lindgren to say a few words.
Your mic is mute, Ms. Lindgren.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Matilda.
Wonderful. I'm so sorry. I'm just still trying to figure these things out. Thank you so much. We're so honored to have won this award. The Daniels principles are so important to our organization, and we're just thrilled to be a winner. And thank you for recognizing all the work we do. I feel very strongly that it's a valuable organization within our community caring for these folks. And I'm sorry I don't have better words for this. I just really want to express my heartfelt thanks. And I also want to recognize the Bicycle Collective as well as the Other Side Academy for being great community partners. We have had the honor of working with them as well. And I just feel that our community is so strong with these organizations that we're all able to work together collaboratively. And so thank you very much.
Well, Matilda, congratulations to you and also the other finalists. Doesn't this just make you, I don't know, proud and thrilled to be a citizen of the great state of Utah? It's a remarkable place to live and to work. And hopefully you've all come away inspired today. This is just one of the most uplifting, I think, awards ceremonies that we host here at the David Eckel School of Business. And just want to thank everybody that's been involved. Thanks to the Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute, our MBA students for designing the judging criteria, Salt Lake Chamber, O.C. Tanner, Eclectic Brew Pub Productions, the Judging Committee, and Utah Business Magazine, our partner in advertising and doing the awards program. The physical awards that we usually hand out, but can't in a virtual meeting, will be delivered to the finalists and winners this coming week. So keep your eye out for those. Finally, I'd like to thank our partner, the Community Foundation of Utah, and then especially the Daniels Fund for inspiring and supporting this year's effort. We look forward to next year, and hopefully we'll be here in person. We know that these are trying times, but and every time we reach these moments, and they're rare in history, thank goodness, our ethics do get challenged. But today I think we've been inspired by a set of organizations and individuals that keep principles first. And thanks again for everybody being here. All the best. Keep your wits about you. We're going to get through this all together. See you soon.